Howdy, y'all. It's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this August 7th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. God bless you all. Card in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist. And please hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Really do appreciate it. All right, so for the last couple of days, we've been rehashing stuff we've already read before, which means it's probably really important that we go through it again. We're talking about being a light for others, doing good for others, talking about putting God's kingdom first. Don't be ashamed of your faith. Uh, Warning against selfishness. Don't trust in money. Always be ready for when Jesus returns, and being that wise and trusted servant that the Lord asks us to be. So let's continue on. In that same vein, let's go back to Luke 12 and pick it up in verse 49. Jesus continued speaking. I came to bring fire to the world. I wish it were already burning. There is a kind of baptism that I must suffer through. I feel very troubled until it is finished. Do you think I came to give peace to the world? No, I came to divide the world. From now on, a family of 5 will be divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. A father and son will be divided. The son will turn against his father. The father will turn against his son. A mother and her daughter will be divided. The daughter will turn against her mother. The mother will turn against her daughter. A mother-in-law and her daughter-in-law will be divided. The daughter-in-law will turn against her mother-in-law. The mother-in-law will turn against her daughter-in-law. Verse 54. Then Jesus said to the people, when you see clouds growing bigger in the west, you say, a rainstorm is coming, and soon it begins to rain. When you feel the wind begin to blow from the south, you say, it will be a hot day. You are right. You hypocrites. You can understand the weather. Why don't you understand what is happening now? Verse 57. Why can't you decide for yourselves what is right? Suppose someone is suing you, and you are both going to court. Try hard to settle it on the way. If you don't settle it, you may have to go before the judge. The judge will hand you over to the officer, who will throw you into jail. I tell you, you will not get out of there until you have paid every cent you owe. All right, so that first part we've read before, how Jesus did not come to bring necessarily peace to the world, but he came to divide it. Now, there's a slight difference here where he talks about that he came to bring fire to the world, and that there's a kind of baptism that he must suffer through, and he feels troubled about it. He's obviously referring to his death. Now, he did not have to die for us. Okay, I'm going to say that again. He did not have to die for us. He did not have to spill his blood for us. He chose to. That was the plan Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit made with each other. That was their plan to redeem the human race. That's what they decided to do. They didn't have to do it that way. They could have just, cut their losses with humanity, wiped them out, and start all over clean. Could have done that. They're sovereign. They're the sovereign God. Could have done that. But they didn't. They chose this way because they love us so much. So they wanted to redeem us. Okay? So this was the plan they went through. Now, that saying, that doesn't mean it wasn't hard. Jesus is God and man. And he knows what's coming. He knows he's going to have to die, not just physically, but also spiritually. Okay? It's not just a physical death that Jesus suffered, but a spiritual death. Separation from God. Okay? Imagine that. That, God the Son being separated from God the Father and God the Spirit. Being just in the void. That sounds awful. Okay? And he knows it's coming. And you think he wants that? No. He would rather do anything else than die like that. But that's the path he's chosen. Because he loves us that much. And then he continues on how he's going to divide the world. Now, he's talking about dividing the world between those that follow Jesus, those that accept Christ and God, and those who belong to the world. Okay? And we see that a lot of times every day, how, families will turn on each other for various reasons. We see it today with our politics. If you don't believe one way or the other way, then you're at odds, and there's just almost no reconciling. Same is true with our Christianity. There are people who accept Christ and there are people who don't accept Christ, and unfortunately, there are people who cannot reconcile with each other on that front. Right? That's what Jesus is coming to do. He's coming to divide out those who will follow him from those who will not. He's going to keep the ones who follow him and keep them safe. Okay? They belong to him. But those that don't follow, he's going to cast out. It's going to be a very, very bad day for them. And then he goes on to, criticize the Jewish people as hypocrites. Yeah, because he uses the weather as an example. He says that they can tell what the weather's going to be by the signs. When they see the clouds in the west, they know it's going to rain. When the wind blows from the south, they know it's going to be hot. Well, and that way, Jesus is saying, the signs are before you. Signs of the Son of Man coming are here. Why don't you see it? Why don't you believe it? And then the last part, he asks us to settle our problems now. Okay. If he uses the example of someone suing you, taking you to court for whatever reason. If someone is suing you or you're suing someone else, try to find a way to come to an agreement, to compromise, because heaven forbid you get to court and you're found liable. You're going to have to pay back everything that you owe. And that's the example he uses for us in the spiritual sense. One day we will have to give an accounting to God of everything we've done for ourselves, we've done with our lives. Now, if we accept Christ and we accept his grace, then we're going to be fine. We'll still have to give an account. But then Jesus will come in and say, I paid for him. I paid his debt. He's good. And then that's it. But those who don't, they will have to give an account for what they did, and they must repay for everything they've done. And that means eternity, a lake of fire. True story. All right, that's all for today. We're going to pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.